Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how you can download and install Windows 10 on VirtualBox. So those of you who don't know what is VirtualBox, VirtualBox is a tool which allows you to run different operating system virtually on VirtualBox. So let's say I have installed VirtualBox on my Windows 10 operating system and I want to run another Windows operating system on VirtualBox. I can do this using this VirtualBox, right? So everything will work virtually inside your host operating system. In this case, Windows 10 operating system is also my host operating system, and I want to install Windows 10 on my VirtualBox. So the most important thing you should have to install Windows 10 on VirtualBox is the Windows 10 ISO file. So you may have bought the Windows 10 ISO file from a valid website, or if you just want to evaluate the Windows 10 operating system to check whether Windows 10 operating system is the operating system you want to have and later purchase it, then you can also download the evaluation version of Windows 10 operating system for 90 days. So in these 90 days you can just evaluate Windows 10 operating system. So if you want to download the evaluation version of Windows 10 operating system for 90 days, then just search for Microsoft Evaluation Windows 10, and the first link which will appear here will be from Microsoft.com. So I'm going to just click on this link. Most probably I will provide this link in the description of this video also. And then here you will be able to see these options. One is ISO Enterprise, other is ISO LTSE. I'm going to choose ISO Enterprise here. You can see it's only available for 90 days. So 90 days are enough to evaluate and test your Windows operating system, and then you can decide whether you want to buy it or not. So I'm going to just click on continue here, and here you need to provide all the information about yourself and about your company. So in the company, if you don't have any company, you can mention here, and then your job title and your phone number. So provide all the valid information here, and when you click on the continue button, you will be able to download this Windows 10 ISO file, which is the evaluation version of Windows 10 ISO file. So after you have downloaded this ISO file, which is the evaluation version, it's going to look like this, and at the end it has the extension ISO. So once you have downloaded this file, let me show you the size also. So it's around 4.5 GB file, so it will take some time to download. So once you have downloaded this file, you're ready to install Windows 10 on your VirtualBox. So here we are going to create a new device by clicking on the new button here, and then you can see in the type is Microsoft Windows. If it's not selected by default, you can choose it from this list, and then in the version you can choose which version of Windows you want to install. In our case, we want to install Windows 10 64-bit, so just click on this option, and then you can also give the name to your Windows operating system. So I'm going to just write Windows 10 here, and this will be the location where your virtual machine will be saved. So if you are good with this location, then it's okay, and if you want to change this location, then you can click on others and then go to the location where you want to save this virtual machine, okay, and then click on save, right, and you can see the location is changed. Now I'm going to just click on next. Here you can choose the memory size. So I generally go up to the green mark limit, so until here. It depends on your host operating system, how much amount of memory it allows you to provide, right? Then click next, and here in the hard disk, just leave everything as default. By default it's selected create a virtual hard disk now, so I'm going to just click on create, and now here I have this window which says hard disk file type. So I'm going to choose the first option, which is VDI, which is virtual disk image, and then click on next. And on the next window I have the storage on physical hard drive. So I generally like to use the dynamically allocated. If you want to learn what is dynamically allocated or the fixed hard disk size, you can read more about this here also. Okay, so I will recommend you to choose this dynamically allocated option here and then click on next. And then here you can choose the file location where your virtual machine file will be saved, and also you can choose the hard disk size. Okay, so if you don't have the good reason to change it, just leave it as default. And then you can also choose this hard disk size. Let's say I'm going to choose approximately 100 GB for me, and then I'm going to click on create. Now once you click on create, this Windows 10 virtual machine will be created. But still, don't start this virtual machine. What you need to do is you need to select this Windows 10 virtual machine from here and then click on settings. And then in the general settings, what you need to do is just go to the advanced settings and then click on the bi-directional option for both shared clipboard and drag and drop. So this bi-directional option for these both shared clipboard and drag and drop will allow you to copy and paste the files from your host machine to your virtual machine bi-directionally, right? And also it will allow you to drag and drop files from one host to the another host, right? And then I will leave all the other things as default. Now I will click on the system. Here you have the chance to once again adjust your base memory. In the processor, by default, VirtualBox will allocate one CPU to your virtual machine, but you can change it to, let's say, to the green limit, up to the green limit here, and then you will be good to go, right? So right now I'm using 4 CPU processors for my virtual machine. Okay, now I'm going to click on the display. In the display, you don't need to change anything. In the storage, what you need to do is you need to click on the empty option here, and then what you need to do is you need to click on the CD option. So just click on this CD option and then click on choose a disk file. Okay, so click on choose a disk file and then choose the location where you have downloaded your Windows 10. So I'm going to just copy the location where I have downloaded this Windows 10 ISO file, and then select this ISO file which you have downloaded from the Microsoft official website, or you have bought this ISO file from some valid seller, right? So once you see this file on your storage, you can see here, you will be able to see this file, right? Once you do this, the other settings, you can leave them as default. You can change those settings at any time in the later stage also. Just click on OK here. And once you click on OK, you are ready to start your Windows 10 installation. So just select Windows 10 and then click on Start here. And the first window which will appear here will be like this. So from here, you need to choose the Windows 10 ISO file. Okay, so because I have more than one ISO file, so I'm going to choose this file, which is Windows 10 ISO file, which is the same name as this file name which I have downloaded in the ISO file. Okay, so make sure this is the Windows 10 ISO file name, and then click on Start, and you can see the installation process has been started. So now I can see this window. Here you can choose a language in which you want to install Windows 10. So by default it's English United States, so I will leave it as default. Also you can choose the time and currency format. I will leave it as English United States, but you can choose any other time and currency format. And for the keyboard, I'm going to choose the German keyboard because I have the German keyboard layout on my laptop. So let me just choose the German keyboard layout. And this is the keyboard layout you will have on your laptop or on your keyboard. Okay, so you can choose the language, time and currency, and keyboard input method. Then click on Next here, and then click on Install Now. So you can see setup is starting now. Now on the next window you will see the agreement license terms and conditions window. So you can read all these license terms and conditions, and if you agree with them, you can just check this checkbox which says I accept the license terms, and then click on next. Now here on the next window you will see which type of installation do you want. First is upgrade, install Windows and keep files, settings and application. Second is install Windows 10 only. So I'm going to choose the second one, which is the install Windows 10 only option. Now on the second window you will see this option which says where do you want to install Windows. Just leave it as default. If you want, you can create a new drive also, but I generally leave it as default, and then click on the next button. And now the installation of Windows will start here. You can see these are the stages, so you need to wait for all the stages to be finished. So now the stages are finished, and automatically I can see the next window here, and now the Windows 10 is starting, and after some time I can see this window. So again you need to just wait for some time, so the installation might take some time for the completion. Now on this next window I can see this window which says let's start with the region. Is this right? So I'm going to just choose United States from here, but you can choose any other region of your choice from this list, and I'm going to just click on yes. And now you can choose the keyboard again. So is this the right keyboard layout? So again I'm going to choose the German keyboard layout because I have the German keyboard layout. So I'm going to choose this one and then click on yes. And now it says want to add second keyboard layout. If you want to add second keyboard layout, you can click on add, or otherwise you only want to have one keyboard layout, then click on skip. And now on this next window you will be prompted to sign in with your Microsoft account. So if you have any Microsoft account, you can give your Microsoft account email ID here. Or otherwise, if you don't have any Microsoft account and if you don't want to log in with your Microsoft account, you can choose this option which says domain join instead. So I'm going to choose this option which says domain join instead. And here you need to give the name of your PC. So I'm going to give the name CB in my case. You can choose any name for your PC and then click on next. And now you can give the login password to your Windows 10 operating system. So I'm going to choose a simple password for now, and then I'm going to confirm this password and then click on next. And now I have to give 3 security question answers. So what was your first pet name, for example? I'm going to just write bingo and then click on next. You will be asked to provide the second question answer. So the second question is childhood name. So I'm going to just say, let's say Tom. And then the third question. So let's choose what's the name of the first school. I will say something and then click on next. And now I can see this window which says do more access device with activity history. If you want to do this, you can click on the yes button. So I'm going to click on the yes button, and then you have this option which says get help from your digital assistant. Generally I decline all these things because I don't want to send any information to Microsoft about my Windows activity. So I just click on decline, and here you can see there are different options you can choose. You have the online speech recognition and location. I also like to just disable everything. So here, because I don't want to send any data to Microsoft, so I just disable everything. But if you are okay with all these options, then you can leave them as default and then click on accept. And now you can see it says hi, we are getting everything ready for you. This might take several minutes. So at this point I just need to wait for some more minutes, and now in some time I can see this Windows 10 desktop. So now I have installed successfully Windows 10 on my VirtualBox, right? So you can see Oracle VirtualBox and Windows 10 is running inside Oracle VirtualBox. Now when I click on the maximize button, you can see this window doesn't resize according to the size of my original host desktop size, right? So to solve this problem, what I can do is I can just click on devices here and then click on the insert guest edition CD image. So generally you need to install VirtualBox guest editions on your host machine in order to get the full features of your VirtualBox on your virtual machine, right? So I'm going to just click on install guest edition CD image, and once you click on this option, when you click on the folder explorer on your virtual machine Windows 10 operating system and then go to this PC, you will be able to see this CD drive here. Okay, so now just click on CD drive for VirtualBox guest editions, and here just click on this option which says VirtualBox Windows Edition AMD 64. So I'm going to just double click on this and then click on yes, and now I'm going to just click on next, and this will be the location. So I'm going to just click on next once again and then click on install, which is going to install the VirtualBox guest editions on my virtual Windows 10. And now at some point you will be asked, would you like to install this device software? I will say yes, install it. And once the VirtualBox guest editions are installed on your virtual machine, you just leave this as default, which is reboot now, which is going to reboot your Windows 10 operating system. So I'm going to just click on finish, which is going to start the reboot or restart of my virtual Windows 10 operating system. Okay, so my host operating system is doing nothing. My virtual machine, virtual Windows operating system is restarting now. And now I can see this login window. So I'm going to just log in with my Windows 10 credentials, which I have given. So I will just give the password here for my virtual Windows 10 and then click on submit, which is going to log into my virtual Windows 10 operating system. And now I can see this Windows 10 desktop once again. So now when I just resize my Windows 10 desktop size, you can see it resizes, right? So you can see when I just do like this, it resizes, and when I click on this maximize button, this window is resized according to my host Windows 10 desktop size. So now everything is working. If you want to check whether drag and drop is working, you can also check that. So let me just search for some image. So let's say I have this image, sample image. I'm going to just drag and drop to my virtual machine, and once I do that, you can see this sample.png is copied to my virtual machine desktop. So that drag and drop is working. This drag and drop is working due to the installation of VirtualBox guest editions. Also, if you want to copy and paste some text from your host Windows 10 to your virtual Windows 10, you can do that also. So I'm just opening Edge browser here, and you can see internet will also work, and I am just copying and pasting this Microsoft website here. You can see I have just copied this website URL from my host Windows 10 to my virtual Windows 10, and then press enter, and this copy and paste is working, right? Or let's say I'm going to just copy some text from here, and then I'm going to go to my virtual machine, open the notepad from here, and then I'm going to paste this text, and you can see the copy and paste is working. So this will work bi-directionally. You can also copy from your virtual machine to your host machine also. Okay, so this is how you can install Windows 10 on your VirtualBox. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video.